What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the only podcast on the internet where you're part of the Roto, part of the chill session, so to speak. Homer here, and joining us in today's smoke circle is the god of the motherfucking sun. It is Apollo himself.
Thank you very much for the introduction, Homer. It's good to be here, and I cannot wait to talk about the topics that we have to discuss here tonight.
And on this podcast, we like to smoke and talk movie news, video game news, and a bit of TV news every now and again. But today we have a very movie-focused episode. A lot of movie news dropped this week, and we have a mini-trailer-pocalypse for you. A lot of really cool trailers have dropped this week, a lot of bangers.
Shit was popping off, a lot to get us very excited.
But our first piece of movie news, there's been a lot of news about the new Terminator film buzzing around, and it could be a very confusing situation going on.
I've been explained it several times, and I still have no idea what's going on, so please, clear it up, Homer.
Basically, back in the early 2000s, James Cameron sold his rights to Terminator.
Dull bastard.
Yeah, which was very unfortunate, and ever since he's regretted it because we've gotten some pretty poor follow-ups to Terminator 2.
We've gotten some wild spin-offs, I guess.
Yeah, but now that's exactly what they are, just non-canon spin-offs in an Elseworld dimension, because James Cameron has his rights back. So basically what he's doing is everything that takes place after Terminator 2 is now considered non-canon. It did not happen in the real world. It's like an Elseworld.
Weirdly enough, this is one of the only universes that can make that work. Like, they're not canon, but in the same way, they still just as canon as they've always been. Like, they're just different universes, you know? It's fucking Terminator.
Exactly, and it's very similar to what Disney did with Star Wars and how they made a lot of their content not canon as well, but this makes a lot more sense because of what you just said.
Yeah, that Star Wars shit was more like a slap in the fucking face. Especially by my boy Starkiller.
In their defense, there was so many books written by so many different authors who had so much free reign.
Tons.
That there was so much convoluted stuff that it was just impossible to make that all canon. Like, literally, Chewbacca had a moon fall on him. That's how he dies.
Holy fuck.
Yeah.
Well, okay, I guess that's a lot of... Wow.
But
Chewbacca should not be invincible, so that kind of makes sense.
He should be. But getting back on track to the Terminator news, James Cameron once again has the rights. Not only is Arnold Schwarzenegger once again back on board to play the Terminator.
Wow.
We also have Linda Hamilton, the original Sarah Connor, also back on board as an older lady. It's going to be the true Terminator 3 that us, the fans, always deserved, and the one that James Cameron's always wanted to make.
Whoa. I always thought Terminator 3 was pretty good in and of itself, so if this is supposed to be the true one, then he's hyping it pretty hard. I'd be gentle with this one. Yeah, despite
all the hate online, I think Terminator 3 is actually really, really solid, but it does have some very jarring parts, like how Sarah Connor's just dead in this movie from leukemia or whatever. I thought that was kind of lame, and the other small things they could have done better. And actually explaining why the Terminators have come back, just saying Judgment Day is inevitable.
Yeah, yeah.
They could have used a better excuse than that.
A little bit more exposition.
This is very exciting news because James Cameron is a very visionary storyteller. And actually, you know who he's partnering with for this one?
Who?
Tim Miller, director of Deadpool.
Wow, fucking A, that sounds pretty wicked.
Tim Miller's actually getting his head dirty in another project we're going to talk about in a little bit. But this combination is a solid director of Tim Miller with the visionary of James Cameron in the writing team. I think this could be really cool stuff, and it's actually getting pretty fast-tracked. It's going to be released summer 2019, which is really exciting. That's going to be a pop-in summer.
Cool. I was kind of hoping it would be next year, but you know, I guess I can wait another year.
Yeah, wait another year for the quote-unquote true Terminator sequel, which was promised to us through Genesis, which was just a weird, which I think is even more non-canon than anything.
God, I honestly wish we would just at least get one good sequel to a sequel.
Like
ever since 3, like there's been Salvation, Genesis, and then there was a spin-off show. Like
the Sarah Connor Chronicles.
If they could keep anything going, I'd be prouder than just these constant reboots. But like I'm hoping they'll do it real good with this one.
Exactly, and the thing about all these reboots, I feel like they feel like fan fiction for the most part. Nothing too solid, and I really wonder, because James Cameron is on record saying that this is going to go more into how modern day adapted technology since back then when he made it in the 80s. It's going to be more drone focused, it's going to have more...
He's got a lot more to work with and write with here.
Yeah, exactly.
In every fashion.
And Terminator is much more likely nowadays, too. So.
Indeed.
It might be
watch your backs.
Might be more realistic than you might think. And he's also talking about, I'm not sure if this is actually going to be in the film, but he always said he wanted to explore Arnold getting like captured from Skynet, like showing him being a human subject, the first human subject, because they had to get his DNA somehow for the first original Terminator.
Oh, fuck!
And he said he's always wanted to get into that, but he didn't have the technology back then to get the future that he's wanted. Also, while we're talking about James Cameron's future, now that James Cameron's back, are we finally going to get the future with skulls scattered across the ground?
That's one of my favorite things from the originals. It's like, there's just skulls all over the fucking ground. It's like those robots been collecting them. They've been collecting since day one. They're all over the place. They're scattered, man.
Skull collection grows by the day, and right when James Cameron leaves, they just drop it.
Exactly.
The future, no skulls.
James Cameron clearly had a very skull-heavy environment planned for all of the Terminator universe in the future when it comes to post-apocalypse, but all the skulls just... This is bullshit. This is bullshit. It's straight what it is.
His vision has been tampered with.
Vision has been tainted. Straight tainted. We'll have to do something about that.
Yep, but now with some cinematic time traveling and parallel universe creating, we have a chance to do that. Thank you, James Cameron. And this is also going to be a very fresh thing for him to do to distract him from the 4 Avatar movies he's filming at once, like a madman.
Is that still happening? How long are they going to be doing that?
Well, it does take a long time to write 4 and film 4 fucking movies.
Wait, he's still writing them as they
they're all written. It just took him a really long time to write them all.
Okay.
And now they're actually filming. I don't know how the filming process is.
That's still fucked. That's a clusterfuck.
Yeah, it's a very interesting thing that he's doing all 4 at once. Sure, it saves on money because actors can't negotiate contracts if the film's successful, and it makes a more realistic age gap because these movies are supposed to take place right after one another.
True.
It's very ambitious, but will it be too ambitious?
If he does, if they do pop off, then he has truly scored.
And James Cameron is just such a visionary filmmaker. Just look what he did with the Terminator 3D this summer. He has passion for film and technology, and it shows.
Man, that was awesome.
One of the best directors in the game, and if he's behind this, a talented director like Tim Miller, I think we're in good hands.
Indeed. Well, fuck. Let's move on. Should we move on?
Yeah, let's move on to our next story. And this is one I don't think Apollo will particularly be too interested in. As you may or may not know, there's been rumors floating around about a new Sonic the Hedgehog live-action movie. And those rumors have become fact. Because we are in fact getting the live-action Sonic movie coming from Paramount, and it is going to be directed from none other than Deadpool director Tim Miller.
Wow. Honestly, when I first heard about this, I was hoping that it would just be like some dude, like, you know, whoever was playing Sonic would be just some dude in a Sonic outfit. But yeah, actually, having a CGI Sonic is much better. You know, that'll be much more aesthetic. What do you think, Homer? I know you've been a huge Sonic fan your whole fucking life, so drop it on me.
I know a live-action Sonic movie sounds pretty stupid at first. In the past, not only in video games but show, they've gone into the human world many times, so it's much easier to do than you might think. But this could go very good or very bad very fast, like many things I love personally. Ninja Turtles could have went very good, very bad. Went very medium, unexpectedly, the new 2014 Turtles. But then the sequel to that, Out of the Shadows, was absolute resin shit. Anyways, back on track. This new Sonic movie could be pretty ballin' if they go back to the source material and actually take the time to look into it and treat it right. Don't look into the weird-ass Sonic games where he turns into a hedgehog, or turns into a werehog type thing.
I hope that's the main storyline.
Don't do anything weird like that. If you focus on a storyline like Sonic Adventure 1, where the God of Chaos is your main villain, and you need to collect the 7 Chaos Emeralds, make that your main focus, that could be really cool. And then make the sequel about Shadow the Hedgehog. There's a lot of cool possibilities, but like I said, Sonic's been done very, very bad, especially in more recent years. So this could go very south, but as an old school fan, I think he has a lot of potential. I know Tim Miller's a very good director. I think it also depends on who they can get on as a writer. I might be more excited if they get like a very good writer on board. If they just do the lore correctly, I think it could be good.
Nice. Honestly, at first it sounded like a total joke to me, but with Tim Miller at the helm, they could seriously make it a wicked banger, because honestly, the Lego movie at first sounded like a joke to me, but that was a wicked banger in and of itself, so who knows?
That's my philosophy here at the Stonerman camp.
Let's wait for a few trailers. Yeah, well, the Stonerman camp will be here.
Yep.
We're watching out.
If you get a good
Hawkeye view on them trailers.
Yeah, if you get a good team behind it, I think anything could be good. Do you guys remember The Mummy from earlier this year and how it was supposed to spark a huge new dark universe?
Dun dun dun!
Well, dun dun dun. Looks like it ain't happening according to plan.
Wow, wow, wow.
Because even though it's already begun production and giant set pieces have already begun being made, Bride of Frankenstein has been removed from its release date and does not bode well for this dark universe.
Wow.
And personally, I was very excited for this universe when it was first announced. The 80s horror movies all creating their own universe together.
Dude, fuck yeah, that was gonna be tight.
But instead they went more of the direction trying to create superheroes out of these horror villains. Why would you do such a thing?
Trying to ride that dick of the Avengers and the Justice League. Just a mistake.
And I was so excited for this universe. If you listen to the podcast Old School, I was hyped for this. And someone as hyped as me didn't even see The Mummy yet. Just because they turned into an action-adventure generic movie, which they wasted. They had such a good property and they wasted it. Not only with The Mummy, but this dark universe could have been something really special and different. But instead they botched it. But not all hope is lost. There's a chance that they just might be rewriting, and there's rumors that they might recast the Bride of Frankenstein as Gal Gadot, which is kind of cool. However,
hot mama.
Even though that's kind of cool and pretty hot, not gonna lie, I think that's just them once again trying to jump on the superhero bandwagon. Ooh, yeah. Wonder Woman was successful. Let's get Gal Gadot. Let's not worry about creating a seriously creepy, aesthetically pleasing universe. My very excited, naive excitement for the Dark Universe has turned into bitter sourness, and I'm not looking forward to anything going forward. Next piece of movie news, and a pretty unexpected one to be honest. In 2020, it looks like we are going to be getting a Bob's Burgers movie.
Wow.
I did not know the show was popular enough to warrant a movie, to be honest.
Indeed, that's Simpsons level shit.
I mean, certain shows like Futurama's never been in theaters.
Family Guy's never been in theaters.
Yeah, and that's been rumored for years. True. And all these much more popular ones have gone to theaters, but Bob's Burgers gets a movie? They must have had a really banging script or something.
I've honestly never been able to get myself into Bob's Burgers. Everyone tells me to fucking watch it. Everyone says it's so funny. Is it John H. Benjamin or H. John Benjamin, whoever plays, Bob and, Archer and all those other fucking great characters? I love that dude, but I mean, I just never really been able to get into this show. It just wasn't really my humor.
I think it's just okay. Chuckles here and there, mids-worthy in my opinion.
Indeed.
I just don't know. But however, for naysayers like me and you, this movie could be a good chance to get us on board.
Indeed. We'll see what they got.
Especially if the trailer wows us, but I don't know. Will we have to know important plot points from the show? I'm not sure if is important plot points from the show. Because to be honest, I've only seen the first 2 seasons, and I'm not sure if there's an arc in the show currently leading to a movie-worthy story.
I didn't think anything was really happening. I thought it was just a dude making burgers. I don't know.
And I wonder if the animation will be enhanced at all either.
I hope not. It's creepy when they do that.
Yeah.
Just keep it at the normal level.
That's actually how Roger and I measure Family Guy. The moment it turns 3D, it goes downhill immediately.
Yep. Same thing with The Simpsons. Like once it starts getting too good, it's like, oh,
yeah, I think
this is not funny anymore.
Personally, I think Simpsons went bad a little bit before they went 3D, but when they went 3D, it was just full blown. We're gone. We ain't the show you remember.
The plane has crashed everybody off.
So yeah, this movie had a lot riding for it for fans like us, and actually I hope it is successful because it expands chances for another Futurama movie, maybe Rick and Morty to hit theaters. Ooh. I don't think there's a show more popular right now than Rick and Morty.
It is popping off.
If you guys want to hate on us for not liking Bob's Burgers, just go in the comments below. Tell us which episodes we need to watch, because I'm very interested to get on this hype train. And now, it is time for Trailers of the Week. And this week we have a mini trailer apocalypse, not quite a full-blown one. At the beginning of this mini trailer apocalypse, we have Pacific Rim Uprising. Personally, I thought this one was more colorful than the original, because the first one was pretty dark and brooding. This one was very colorful and bright, which was kind of opposite, and I'm pretty sure it's supposed to take place 10 years later after the first one.
Damn. So they've still been going at it that long with the fucking kaiju?
Yeah, and that might explain why some of the suits are upgraded. One of my favorites was the one with the whip. I thought that was cool.
Yeah, that was crazy. Kind of reminiscent of that new Kingsman Golden Circle.
Yeah, not gonna lie. Check out our review on the channel.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, bastardized plug there. but yeah.
Yeah, I definitely have very high hopes based on the first one, but my main fear, especially based on the trailer, is that it's just gonna be some type of generic, 2-hour smash and bash CGI action,
just
flash
popcorn
thing, just some type of Transformers almost, God forbid. I'm hoping for much more though, especially with Charlie Day in there, Hot Mama.
I don't think they'll ever sink as low as Transformers, but I'm just hoping it could be equal quality of the first one. I would much rather live in a universe where Del Toro was still on board, but in this one we have Stephen D. Knight, the director of Daredevil Season 1.
Ooh.
And I think that's a really solid director to take on this movie, and I hope that they're saving some of the banging action for the movie and just showing us a little bit in the trailer. And
just keep it all under the fucking table.
Daredevil Season 1 has some off-the-wall action. You have to see it to believe it.
It's a fucking banger. Banger!
And I'm hoping that the action translates in this film as well, especially with the whip and stuff. I think there could be some really, really cool action sequences in this movie. One thing I'm also kind of worried about, since they had the Jaeger fighting Jaeger, I hope that's not a main focus in this one, to, like you said, make it feel more like Transformers. I think that'd be very, very lame. I hope the focus is still Jaeger versus Kaiju, and I want the Kaiju to be represented well, because if that's the only one we see in the movie, sure, it looks cool, but I want to see a really off-the-wall Kaiju for the sequel.
Definitely. The one I showed in the trailer was pretty huge, but I mean, you didn't really get to see that well of it scale-wise, like how huge it was. Like, I mean, is it like 10 times bigger than them or 100? I mean, what are we dealing with here?
I'm just so spoiled from games like Final Fantasy with some amazing creature design. I want the creature to really stand out, and I hope there's more than just the one we see in the trailer. I hope the trailer is just showing...
just a mild teaser, a nice appetizer, so to speak.
And that's what I really like from trailers nowadays, because we live in a day and age where trailers usually show way too much.
Oh, yeah. I don't know what the fuck people are doing. You're definitely right, though.
While we're on that, I'm hoping that they're hiding their biggest trump card of all, and the one that was promised to us from Del Toro himself in an original interview when he was still planning to be a part of Pacific Rim 2. It's when he was talking about Charlie Day being the villain for the sequel. that wasn't shown at all in this trailer. I'm not sure if it's going to be some sort of twist or anything, but I'm worried that they're not going to use that storyline.
It would be super wicked cool if they did it without talking about it or hinting at it at all. But if they haven't mentioned it by now, it kind of looks like he's, you know, a good guy. But you know, who the fuck knows? By the end of the movie, shit could twist around.
Charlie Day is such an amazing comedic actor. I'd love to see him take on a villainous role. And he got into that wacky kind of insanity in the first one. I want to see him go full blown in this one.
Yes. And the original Pacific Rim, they kind of really outdid themselves with the whole, like, them nuking the fucking Caillou base or whatever the fuck it was. Like, I'm not thinking of the Avengers, right? Like, that's what happened, right?
Oh yeah, they nuked it. That's a lot of movie solutions these days.
Just fucking, shit out of it. You jam fucking a nuke in there, man. If they already did that, what the fuck are they gonna do now? They're fucked. If they're still coming, you're boned.
They are. But I think they do kind of hint in the trailer, since they have a team of Jaegers now. Like, that's how they top it. But yeah, how are they going to stop the portal? There's a lot of story elements they need to touch on.
And the portals were speeding up before, but if it's been 10 years, they must be popping out like every fucking street corner.
Right? I like Pacific Rim more than both the new Godzilla movie and the new Kong movie. And I think it's a shame that it's not as popular as it is. And if you're a fan of these Godzilla or King Kong, check out Pacific Rim. It's an amazing monster movie. Robots fighting monsters. You should be sold right then and there.
Alright.
And it's really well done action, really well done CGI. We saw this in IMAX. It blew our minds off.
It helped me through a difficult time.
True, and it also helped me discover Del Toro, such a talented director who's behind mostly horror movies, but it was so cool to see him do this like almost Japanese Robotech type movie, you know?
Yeah, right? Kind of seems like a foreign film, but it's not. I love it.
And I'm so happy they even got a sequel, because the first movie didn't do well in theaters at all. Well, it barely made its money back because of
What
China.
is wrong with you people?
So it didn't do too well in theaters, and it looked like we were going to get a sequel at all for a long time. But we got lucky we did, and this time around we need to support it by going to theaters and seeing it so we could get a third one, unless it's trash. If it's trash...
If it's trash, then trash it, right?
Well, yeah, we're going to review it, so...
Sad reacts only.
But I'm pretty confident it's going to be pretty good. And moving on to our next trailer we checked out was the final trailer for the Justice League. And this one had some really cool comic book visuals that were absolutely beautiful. Like Wonder Woman standing on the thing representing justice. The Batman, the iconic Batman shots.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of cool visuals. And I think Snyder's visuals and Whedon's storytelling could be the perfect combo to make the perfect comic book movie. Joss Whedon did amazing with Avengers. And I love Snyder, but a lot of people hate his storytelling, such as Batman vs. Superman, Man of Steel.
Fuck him.
Yeah, fuck him. But I think together they can make it perfect. And I just hope that if it's good, they both get the credit they deserve. But if it's bad, I feel like everyone's just going to blame Snyder and not Whedon at all. And I also wonder if we're ever going to see the original cut of the movie before Joss Whedon came on board and changed a lot of it.
Really? I don't know about that.
One reason I think they brought him on board was to make it more hopeful than dark.
Oh.
Yeah,
fuck that. I thought like Justice League was supposed to be more dark, like or that was their thing with the movies. That's what they were going for. Or maybe that's just what I was hoping they were going for. But you know,
I hope they keep it dark. They might. I mean, it looks like the end of the movie is like some sort of apocalypse or something. Everything's red. I don't know what's going on there. That looks wild.
And there's always those. I don't even know what the fuck they are. Like vampire bat things flying the fuck around. Yeah, Jesus.
The demons from a different dimension.
Dude, and all that, is it confirmed or just hype now, the Flashpoint paradox? Because that shit'll make me jizz my fucking shorts, man.
I'm not sure if it's going to be in the first Flash movie, and I kind of hope it's not the very first Flash movie, but I hope they do it for, like, the third Flash movie, you know? Yeah. Save it down the line.
True.
there's a very strong possibility they might do it for the first one because they want to reboot the DC universe. But I think after Justice League's a big pop-in success like Wonder Woman, they might slow down on the reboot ideas.
Okay.
Because like they've been talking soft reboot, like Flashpoint will change ever so slightly of things.
I honestly hope they don't do that too soon. I really like things the way they are.
True, and there's been all these rumors of Ben Affleck leaving Batman.
Oh, come on.
And I'm also thinking maybe he's just sour from hearing all the hate online constantly.
Bastard.
Maybe that's just speculation.
Don't do that to us.
But I hope if Justice League is a banger, as I suspect it will be, that we're going to hear Ben Affleck sign on for more movies. We're going to hear more positive news from Justice League, from Warner Brothers.
You might not be able to tell from my face, but I am very, very excited for Justice League.
Me too.
The hype is real, and they're really playing with fire here, so I really hope they pop out a serious banger. I hope everyone leaves satisfied. I hope it's very comparable to the Avengers, if not better, because I mean, we don't really know anything about it yet. Like, who's the fucking villain? What's happening? I don't fucking know.
I'm so glad you brought that up. I'm glad Warner Brothers and DC learned from their mistake from Batman vs Superman. Showing everything in the fucking trailer.
Keep it under the table.
They revealed Doomsday in the trailer. They revealed... What else did they reveal? I can't even remember.
They basically revealed that Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman were coming together at the end to form, you know, it was more like Justice League Birth or something, or, you know, better name than that, but
yeah.
Like by the time the trailer showed everything, it was like you already knew that it wasn't quite Batman versus Superman. It was going to be, you know, Batman versus the fucking goddamn meth creature. I don't know.
Better marketing this time around. Meth creature. Better marketing this time around. And still banging. And it goes to show you don't have to show everything in your trailer. Still have a banging ass trailer. And I just hope this movie looks like it contains a lot of shit. I just hope it's not too overpacked to compromise the story. And in November we have this one and Thor coming out, and I don't know what it is.
Ooh.
Somehow, I mean, maybe just because, well, I think it should be this way. I'm far more excited for Justice League. I'm
very excited for Thor Ragnarok, but I mean, Justice League definitely takes the cake for now.
True. It might just be because I'm just so... I just know Thor's going to be good, and Justice League's just such more of a wild card, you know? And it's just much more exciting, I guess.
Something we've never seen before. They've never thrown this shit into the fucking film ring.
Yeah, first time.
Until now.
People aren't giving this movie the credits due. This is going to be legendary and groundbreaking. And I think it's going to change a lot of people's mind about the DC Universe. And the third trailer we checked out this week was the New Mutants trailer. This is going to be another rated R movie in the X-Men universe coming out April 2018. Personally, I'm fucking excited.
I'm excited as well. It looks pretty cool. I mean, Logan was supposed to be the ending of the old X-Men universe, basically, right?
Yeah, just more metaphorically.
Okay, yeah.
But they're still continuing the X-Men Apocalypse universe, if that makes sense.
Okay.
That team's still continuing.
Cool.
For a Dark Phoenix movie coming next year as well, I think.
Oh, yeah.
This movie is a total tone shift from any other superhero movie we've seen. This movie looks like a straight up horror film.
It literally does. That's what I was thinking during the trailer. Like,
I
was already scared.
There's Apollo set in the trailer. It comes with the whole package. Even the jump scare is involved in this fucking trailer.
Hand bangs on the inside of the fucking
glass
clothes washing machine. That's it, washing machine. Jesus.
There we go.
Words are hard sometimes.
Me no do the words.
Yes, me don't like the words because I used to use them.
People have been screaming the death of the superhero genre since 2002. Oh, superhero movies are just going to die off soon, you know, blah, blah, blah. People are still saying superhero fatigue, but this is how you avoid superhero fatigue. Change up the genre,
dude, they're still
change up the movie.
Off. I don't know. We're still quite a ways away from that.
No,
with things like Ant-Man coming out, it's a fucking superhero based around ants. I mean, what the fuck? And it was great. Like,
exactly.
They can still do whatever they want. Fuck off.
Those are the lesser-minded people who aren't thinking too hard about it, I think. They're just looking at it surface level. on a podcast I listen to on Collider, they talk about how superhero movies are becoming their own genre now, and how we should just accept it as a genre. How we get comedies every year, we get horror movies every year. Now we should just accept superhero movies every year.
True, we get hella superhero movies every year. We just accept it.
And they use this analysis. We get, what, 10 to 12 horror movies every year? Do you hear people screaming about horror movie fatigue?
No. Fuck no.
Not at all.
Even though I kind of think they should be, because a lot of them are kind of weird.
Yeah, well, I shouldn't use horror as an example. Actually, horror's been doing pretty decent. Not this year. In 2017, unfortunately. Nothing too banging. Oh, except It.
It.
The It.
That was nice.
We also have a review for that on our channel. Double plug. First, we had Logan, which they tried to make into a modern-day Western. Now, this horror vibe, I just love the direction they've been taking ever since Days of Future Past. Days of Future Past is a banger. After that, we get the rated R Deadpool, which was groundbreaking for superhero movies.
Yeah, they've been doing very well with their properties. Definitely better than DC.
Yeah, unfortunately. I'm so glad that Marvel and Disney don't own the X-Men. A lot of people wish that Marvel owned the X-Men. I'm glad they don't,
Keep
because
your filthy paws off this. I like it fringe.
Exactly, because then we wouldn't be getting these rated R movies. We wouldn't be getting these bangers. I think Days of Future Past exceeds most Marvel movies. Same with Logan.
Certainly a very different experience. I mean, Logan showed that in spades. It was fucking great. It was a very, very different story.
And again, you don't want a monopoly for these superhero movies. If we keep it spread out, it's good things.
Yeah, give it a fucking decade. Disney alone. Every single one.
Yeah, probably. Even DC.
Jesus Christ.
DC's just cracking one-liners every 5 seconds.
Every single fucking thing we review will be a Disney product, and we will also be owned by Disney, so...
Welcome to the Disney Stonerman Podcast.
Brought to you by Disney. We get paid every time we fucking say it.
Mickey Mouse 3 was a smashing hit.
Whoa, triple banger.
Triple wax. I'm super excited for this new Mutants movie and how it's going to connect to the Deadpool universe and all the good stuff. It's a lot to be excited about, and I'm pretty sure we're going to see some appearances of the grown-up versions of the kids from Logan.
Ooh.
That's just a speculation from a lot of people, but that's pretty exciting shit.
That's very cool.
And the final trailer we saw this week was the most banging of all. The Star Wars Episode 8 trailer. And this might be a lot of reasons why you people came to this video.
It should be.
And as we were all speculating from just how they've been rolling out these movies, this looks like it has a lot of influence from Episode 5. It's going to have a lot darker tone. It's going to have multiple storylines going on in different areas at once.
It looks like we could even see some twists and turns with the characters.
Yes, and a lot like Episode 5, it's going to be a lot more story-focused.
I'm really happy. I mean, just for anyone who saw the trailer, you've seen this already. Like, the point where Kylo Ren, like, he says, like, you have to destroy the past even if you have to do it yourself. That's a horrible Kylo Ren, but you know.
It sounded like Arnold. Arnold Schwarzenegger.
But, like, I'm glad they didn't just show him, like, blowing up the ship or whatever that Princess Leia was in. Like, his mother, like, why would, like... Because, I mean, you kind of figure that's what's about to happen, but you're not quite sure yet, but I'm glad they just didn't show it. I feel like that's another one of those things where they would try to reveal that hand way too fucking early, like, because they've been
They're
bad
just trying to get us on
lately.
the hook. I think, actually, they're making a lot of misdirects in the trailer. Maybe not with that one. Because I could see him killing off Leia, but I could see him going either way for that one.
It might be a slight misdirect, you know, something happens and blah, blah, blah.
But I feel like they're trying to heavily influence that there's going to be A, no Jedi, and B, that Rey is going dark side. And I think neither of those things are happening. From the clues I've gathered, this is no spoiler because I'm just guessing. When Luke says the line, "This isn't going to go the way you think," I don't believe that that's going to be Rey joining with Snoke or whatever. I think this is going to be an infiltration mission, and he doesn't want Rey alone with the Dark Sith Lord to influence her the way that Kylo's been influenced.
That is a very specific guess, Homer.
I
Honestly, I have no clue. Just I could see him saying that to any of the main characters. What if he says to Snoke?
He might.
Scream it to his face.
And I really hope that the Kylo Ren holding out his hands for something else. Because if it was for...
I hope it is
Rey,
for Rey. I hope she says that to him, and I hope she does go dark side. I hope it's real fucked up.
I mean, there's so many directions they could go with this. But I don't think Rey's going dark, to be honest. To be a naysayer.
Probably not.
She could. If we do have a switch, Kylo goes good, Rey goes dark.
Ooh, that'd be a delightful twist.
It's just going to be so...
He gets so fucked up over killing his own parents, he's just like, fuck it, I'm going to the light side.
Especially if he kills Leia, it's going to be so hard for him to go light side. I think it's already a tough task after killing Han Solo.
Indeed.
For not only fan reasons, but for story reasons too.
Dude, when Luke says, like, I've seen this power before, and, like, it didn't scare me before, but it does now. Like,
I love that line.
Ooh. Chills.
Actually, Mark Hamill saying that there's going to be some memorable quotes for this movie. He's very impressed with the script.
The Force Awakens was kind of just like, you know, the Phantom Menace to this. It was just the beginning basis for
setting
the new
up
trilogy, just the setup for the characters and stuff. But
now we're
I'm
getting
hoping
into
this
the
one will
meat.
be like, oh, it's gonna be our generation Star Wars, man. Like it's been, we didn't even think this would happen for a while. Like we thought it would just be episodes 1 through 6. It's very exciting to see in our time.
That's so exciting, dude. And it's easily the best trailer we've seen.
Hell yeah.
And I literally can't express how excited I am. I just want to be in a carbon freeze until December.
Dude, yeah, lock me up. Just freeze me away.
I
don't need to do anything or experience anything until this movie.
I feel like I've reached a plateau of excitement for this movie before it's even been announced. I think...
Dude, there was something going around online about how, like, they didn't want us to watch this trailer or something.
Yeah.
I don't know if you heard anything
No,
about
yeah,
that. But,
about this has too much spoilers.
Oh, fuck no. If anything, it just hyped it way up. Just, it didn't really spoil anything, but it really led you on, you know? It was perfect. It was perfect. They did it well.
Like I said, I think a lot of misdirects, and maybe the tweets were misdirects as well to make us believe.
They do love fucking around like that.
And I hope it is a misdirect, to be honest, because if everything just plays out paint by numbers, I'm gonna be fairly disappointed.
I doubt they will do that.
Yeah, they need to take some serious risks for this one. And if you haven't seen any of these trailers, they're all gonna be in the description below. They're all banging this week.
Or you could just type it into the search bar, you lazy bastards.
True, but we did have to work for it. And P.S. I think Rey is a Skywalker, despite the haters.
Ooh.
And now it's time for the finale of this episode, the Rick and Morty Season 3 Wubalubadubdub's review. Going into this, it's been almost a decade since I've been more excited for an animated adult comedy premiere. Probably way back to King of the Hill Season 12, or maybe
Yes.
the return of Futurama, since I've been this excited for a premiere. The premiere was genius. They dropped it on April Fool's Day.
Those fucking bastards.
And it's easily going to be the most memorable premiere for any show ever, for me personally, and for a lot of people out there.
It's going to go down in history.
And not only for dropping on April Fool's Day, but for sparking the whole Szechuan sauce frenzy.
Oh my god.
Which I think is kind of lame for some fans out there who's taking it way too seriously.
Yeah, especially considering you can buy it at any store.
Yeah, true. And I feel like the fans going extra crazy about the Szechuan are the more basic Rick and Morty fans.
Indeed.
Bandwagon jumpers. But anyways, this season was pretty mixed for me.
It was a mixed bag for me as well.
But let's start with some pros. First off, I just love the heavy metal Rick and Morty theme song cover at the end of episode 8, I believe. There's an ending where there's a heavy metal instrumental version of the Rick and Morty theme song.
God, for some reason I don't remember that.
Shit, that was really cool.
That sounds awesome.
And there's a different episode where they end it with some funny song, like some nonsense word, I forgot what it was. Like Floopy Noops or something.
Oh.
Something along those lines.
Some garbage.
I guess I'll just list my top 3 favorite episodes. 1. The pilot. Total Rink Shake Rick Demption. Pilot was banging. Classic Rick and Morty. It felt like the first 2 seasons to me.
Yes.
2. Rick Lantis mix-up.
Yes.
Even though that one's not the most funny episode, that one has so many cool moments.
Yes.
And it adds so much to Rick and Morty lore.
A nice, rich story.
It really...
Lots of shit going on.
And callbacks to earlier episodes.
Yes.
I think this episode really stands out and is phenomenal. But then my personal favorite, and just because it's the funniest and has my personal funniest moment of the whole season, that is Morty's Mind Blowers.
Oh.
I love that fucking episode. And I'm not going to spoil it, but my favorite part involves the squirrels.
I love that part as well. Squirrels are very crafty. You gotta watch out for them.
All 3 episodes like really display how well the writing is for this show and why I love this show. It's like really out of this box comedy that's like self-aware but very off the wall and like cuts no bullshit, you know, like it'll call shit out, especially from other like types of writing.
I was gonna say the Rick Lantis mix-up would have made a great finale. I like the finale as it was.
Yeah, that should have been the finale. I don't know why they didn't end it there.
Yeah, it would have been a sweet cliffhanger.
Especially the very ending scene seems very ending to the season to me.
Yeah.
That might just be a kind of how the show is, not caring about the world. Just fuck it. We're just going to end it here. A message from the writers, maybe.
Rick's definitely still a boss. I love him coming up with his random whatever solutions to whatever problem he faces. Like, you can almost never guess it. Just trying to take out some turrets around the corner, he comes out with something that like eats the bullets and then fucking regurgitates some other bugs that climb up onto the turret, and then what even just happened? But he does it, and then it works.
There's so much never before seen storytelling and humor in this show. I just love it, and it continues in this season. That's one thing you could say about every episode. They're all very original for the most part, except for some of the lower points, which we'll get a little later.
Indeed, we'll get into the cons.
Actually, yeah, maybe this would be a good time to move on over to the cons section. Should I just start with my least favorite thing of the entire season?
Yes.
The divorce storyline.
Definitely.
I feel like it was very forced and unnecessary, especially considering in the first 2 seasons, every single time Beth and Jerry's had a dispute, they've patched it up in some way or realized that they need to be together.
Exactly. It always worked out in a very cathartic way.
So why did this divorce just spring up?
Or at one point or another, each of one of the characters have realized how like nothing matters and everything's totally random. Like the episode where Morty and Rick bury their own bodies, and then Morty brings it up to Summer later. He's like, my own body's back there and I fucking eat breakfast by it every day like nothing matters. But then suddenly a season later they're crying about their fucking parents getting divorced. Like, I mean, I thought this was... What's going on here? You've gone through so much hardcore shit.
And then another few episodes I didn't like too much. Pickle Rick, personally, I didn't like too much.
Oh.
But I know Apollo strongly disagrees.
I honestly had anti-hype for Pickle Rick. I thought it was just going to be
Me
lame.
too.
Like,
I was so
Pickle Rick, how fucking random.
I was so sick of Pickle Rick by the time it came out, just from all the memes already before the episode even existed.
Yeah. But honestly, I thought it was really fucking awesome. The action and just the whole premise of it was awesome. It was like John Wick Pickle Rick.
It is. On that premise, it does sound pretty sick. Then another one I don't like is the second episode, the Mad Max episode. I forget what it's called off the top of my head.
It was okay. I think it was Rick Mancing the Stone.
Yeah, Rick Mancing the Stone. Thank you, Apollo. Then my third least favorite, and my least favorite of all, the Vindicators 3 episode.
Oh my lord.
Let's talk about that for a second.
Like, I'm not gonna lie, like, some of it was kind of cool. Like, I loved Rick's whole stupid Saw game and his just, like, drunken shenanigans and
I was gonna make that point in a second, but even at its lowest point, Rick and Morty is still very good TV, but just not on the banging usual level that Rick and Morty's on.
True, it has truly lost its improvisational tone from season 1.
I would agree 100%. It feels definitely more like they're reading a script from a script.
Which isn't completely bad, but it's just not what it was. Like, there was something about them just dropping those lines as they saw fit, and it just worked so beautifully back in the first episodes, but now everything we're seeing is, scripted, and that's the price you pay.
Yeah, maybe they were feeling pressures behind the scenes. We'll never know. But yeah, in the Vindicators episode, it's just so lame how they just never mentioned the Vindicators before.
It's almost unacceptable how they just kind of popped them into the universe. And then Morty's also been a fan of them for years. Like, there's already been so many events where the so-called protectors of the universe could have come in handy. Like, the galactic government coming in and fucking taking over Earth, or Unity taking over entire planets, or the Council of Ricks fucking around with their shit. Or the fucking world simulating aliens. There's so many different reasons they could have, come in to help, but they were never mentioned until now, and it's just way too much of a plot hole to actually take seriously, and it kind of fucks the whole episode up for me.
Same. They go some weird directions that don't really make sense to the plot at times, and that break character for certain characters. For the most part, it's all still pretty banging. And now, it is time to use our unique marijuana rating system. Where at the bottom of the bottom, we have resin.
Yes, we do.
Oh, Lord. That's the black, gooey residue you scrape out of your bowl. It has barely any THC left in it, and it will give you a very cheap fix. It's normally for people who truly hate themselves. Then a step above that, we have mids. That's your typical brick ditch weed. Gives you a nice little buzz going, but not quite the true high you're looking for.
Not really what you're looking for, no.
Then we got...
that dank.
We got dank.
That's that good shit. That's what you prefer. It's got those... it's sticky, icky. It's got the hairs coming off it. It's all green, purple, whatever weird-ass, orange-ass colors, hairs popping off it. It's fantastic. Gets you real fucking stoned.
Hell yeah. It gets even better, folks.
No, that's not all, folks.
At the top of the pyramid, we got wax. That's pretty much a perfect score. It's where you get so high, you start seeing melting walls and Cronenbergs all around you.
Lordy.
Maybe that's a bit too high for some people.
This isn't the Halloween episode yet. Jesus.
Halloween episode popping off later this month.
On the 31st. Hopefully no later.
And on that scale, I'm going to have to give Rick and Morty Season 3 a dank minus. Dun dun dun. Because the first two seasons were so banging that they deserved a wax. I felt like Season 3 was the first time ever that this show was a step down. Because yes, it's still very amazing storytelling and some of the best stuff on TV today next to Better Call Saul. But I think this is the first time the show has reached new lows, and I really don't want to see him continue to go down that path. And I'm really hoping, since there's no release date for Season 4, that they take their time. And even though I felt like they took their time this time around, so I don't know what the trouble was, but I hope they continue to have a perfect 10 banging episodes next season.
I personally rewatched the first season and the second season, and they just felt so much different from the third season. But that'll happen with any show as writers change and shit changes and the fan base gathers and blah blah blah. But I have to give Season 3 a straight dank. It was still good, but not nearly as good as Rick and Morty. Not as good as that name means to me,
Exactly.
Especially from the first episode, it was just so fantastic. Now they're kind of jumping the shark a little bit, losing themselves. I feel like they need to get back to their roots already, and they haven't really gone that far.
I know, that's true, and I hope they don't continue to lose their roots. That's what I was trying to say earlier, Apollo. You just worded it better for me. Thank you so much.
Oi.
One major con I forgot to mention, that they don't, at the very end of the show and the end credits, where they say, "Did you get any of that?" Now they don't have It's a good show.
God, I miss that.
I love that ending logo.
I still say that after the show.
And at first, because early on the season was kind of rocky, but it really saved itself in the second half. But early on, I was saying in the first couple weeks, I was like, maybe it's not a good show anymore.
Oh, no.
I got rid of it. But I was just being super naysayer. I wasn't being serious.
Yeah.
I was just being super dark and negative.
It was a bit wishy-washy at first, but, by the time it all came out and all was said and done, it was a satisfying product.
It's still dank. It still got us our fix. I just hope it continues to do this going on, and I hope the fans are not ruining the show. And it still keeps me excited for Season 4. I'm hoping to see some more Phoenix person.
Fuck yeah.
I wonder what they're going to do now that it's more streamlined. Is it going to be more episodic? Is it going to be less story focused? Are we ever going to find out for sure if Beth's a clone?
So many questions. That brings up something else. I mean, if he can clone anyone, then why does he need Morty for some type of special, cloaking device? He could clone a million Mortys. Why does he need to go to different dimensions for new children? He could just clone anyone, right?
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know. I feel like if you actually started poking holes in what Rick could and couldn't do, the whole show would just fall apart immediately.
It's true, because he's Doctor Who in this bitch. Yeah, he can do anything.
It doesn't matter. The whole show, it's all shenanigans. Jeez.
And I think that's what they intended, for it not to be taken too seriously.
The fuck? This is not what I ordered at all. Blew through that whole hour. That was an hour of tunes.
True.
Blew through the tunes.
No more tunes. Tuneless for the next couple minutes. I also wonder if they're going to do a second Morty's Mind Blowers, or if they're going to go back into Interdimensional Cable.
Oh yeah.
Think of something new.
Some type of new gig. I kind of like Morty's Mind Blowers, but that just steps into another one of the fucking storyline inconsistencies with me, where it's there's so many memories we've already seen where you think you would have wanted them erased already, but they just weren't. So
that's true.
So how is this a new thing? But it's just another one of those things. Don't think about it.
They just explore so many interesting new ideas that's hard to keep it all consistent.
Yeah, you can't keep track of it.
It's just all so off the wall and so zany. That's why I love this show. It's so different,
Yes.
And it's smart too, for the most part. Even though people who claim the show is so smart focuses on the Wubalubadubdub.
Focus on the stupidest parts of the film.
Stay swifty and stuff.
And nothing matters.
Well, fuck the bandwagon jumpers. But season 4, keeping us pumped. We're probably going to see that sometime 2025 or something.
Jesus, no. Why you do this to me?
I hope not. Truly, I hope not. That'll do it for today's episode. We really, really hope you enjoyed. And if you stay tuned for this long, you might be as stoned as I am. You might have already forgotten everything we've talking about.
Jesus, we've been talking for an hour. I forgot everything.
Shit. So you better hit that comment, rate, and subscribe to stay up to date with everything we do. Coming in a couple of days, actually, we have a Foreigner review that Apollo and I predict that's going to be the Jackie Chan of Taken.
Indeed. That looks cool.
So that could be a really fun review coming, and we have a lot of cool videos always dropping. We have a lot of new memes dropping on the website, stonermanshow.com. Gives you a lot of lowdown on our show. You get to learn about our characters, get to see some cool Stonerman adventures I've written for the show. It's really cool. Check it out.
Got hella memes, anything you'd want.
Yeah, it's popping. As always, stay lifted, my friends.
Good night, Internet. This is Apollo signing off. Thank you for listening.
Arr.